Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a video on Wattpad, which is an app and a website which is all about letting people be creative and share their work, which they might not otherwise get to share. I love it and I also hate it. I kind of have mixed feelings on it. Most people either love it or they hate it, but I'm right in the middle. So I'm going to talk about things I love and things I hate. So let's get into the video. So I think the number one thing that I love about it is the way it's brought so many readers into the community, because there's so many people on there that would never read or write otherwise, and this allows them a space where they can share their ideas and everything and their thoughts and feelings, and I feel like that's such a special thing. And in this time, nothing else would have generated such a response like Wattpad has. So that's one thing that I've got to say I love about it. But I feel like other people don't agree with me there, because there's a whole argument about what's a real reader. I think it doesn't really matter what you read, as long as you're reading and you're learning from what you're reading and you're taking in stuff. It doesn't matter. Words are words at the end of the day, no matter who wrote them or who reads them. And also, another thing that's kind of controversial is the whole idea of fanfic on Wattpad. Personally, gotta say I do adore a bit of fanfic once in a while. I think because fanfiction is this way of, when you love something and you fall in love with a TV show, a movie, a book, it's a way of you continuing that love, and it's an easy way to see how other people took the material you loved and made it something that you can love again and again. And I just think it's actually superb and amazing, the kind of ideas people come up with. I just think it doesn't matter whether it's fanfic or you're writing a novel, still you're writing. It still shows you have a talent for writing. I think people always want to say, oh, fanfic's not real writing because you're writing about characters that are already been developed, or you're writing about things that have already been developed. And I'm like, no, it's not, because people make it such their own. The characters are not really the same anymore. The storyline's definitely not the same anymore. And they're also put in a lot of different spaces. That makes sense? And so I don't think that people can say all these things about fanfic and have all these opinions, because I just think it's wrong. And I think most of the people that have opinions on fanfic have never actually read fanfic. So how do they develop their opinion? That's what I want to know. And also, I think it gives a place for people to see how their writing will be received. So if you write something on Wattpad and you get a good response, you'll be like, well, people actually like this stuff. Maybe I'll think about getting it properly published, or I'll think of writing as more of a career than a hobby, or maybe I just want people to see what I can write and what I can do. But despite all this great stuff, there's one thing about Wattpad that gets on my nerves and makes me just so mad, and it has to be cliches. Straight up, the cliches. There's like every book on Wattpad, or maybe like 80% of every book on Wattpad has probably most of these cliches. And the first one that's probably the most annoying is this bad boy act. This one where the guy, he wears a leather jacket, he has the worst attitude you've ever read about in your life, and he decides that he's the coolest person on earth and no one else can even match him. And but then you always find out they have some sob story, and you feel like, oh, no, I actually feel kind of bad for you. But no, don't be mistaken. Because for some reason, it's always the same kind of story. So what happened is, at 10, he was left. His parents both abandoned him because something happened to his mom, and the dad just couldn't cope. So somehow a 10-year-old was left on his own. And then he got into illegal racing, and now that's why he makes money, and he's kind of rich, lives in a big house, has a nice car. I don't really understand how this whole story works, but you know, people do them, I guess. But it's not the fact that anyone created that kind of character. It was that everyone uses that kind of character. The second one is this shy, really quiet girl who's a nerd, who loves studying, who has no friends but one best friend. Like, no other friends, just that one person that they always go to for everything. But then that one best friend they have is the most popular girl, or like near being the most popular girl. Please explain how this makes any sense. I think what's annoying about all these cliches is the fact that they're so unrealistic. Like, if they were a bit more like, oh, I get it, I see, that makes sense, that could happen in real life, then I'd be like, yeah, it's fine. But they're so unrealistic, and it's kind of gets to a point where you're like, what are you trying to achieve with this cliche? Like, I don't get it. But you know what? I guess I just want, like, I feel like no matter what, Wattpad's always going to be this controversial website and app where people want to say it's great and other people want to say it's bad. And I feel like if you guys are up for it, I'll definitely do a recommended video. What Wattpad books I like. And let me tell you, some of the ones I do like do have these cliches that I was talking about. But you know, sometimes you have to make exceptions for things. But there are some really good books on there, and some people have really great writing. Oh, and another thing I really dislike is when people put out books that have so many grammatical errors. And I'm like, I'm confused. Like, did you read this? And also when people write fanfic and it's really badly written and really short chapters and the storyline is so vague. It's like, he went here, he came back here. It's like the stuff people write when they're 5. And I just feel like people need to learn that if you're gonna put out work, please just develop it a bit more. And like, obviously, and I feel people get quite offended on Wattpad. I know it's your work, and when someone criticizes you, it hurts. But when people give you advice, take it, edit your work a bit. People tend to get really angry and aggressive when people are just trying to help. But then it's also on the other side when people say all these things about people's work, which is offensive and there's no need for it. You could just say, oh, look at this character a bit more, like they need more developing, instead of being like, oh, I hate this character, why are they even here? Like, I don't get why people have to be so horrible online. Like, someone took the time to write these words, someone took the time to put this out there. Why put them down? There's constructive criticism and then there's just criticism. And I feel like so many of these people that decide to criticize can't even write. So I don't understand where you felt you had the right to say any of this stuff that you said. So you know what, I'm gonna like, because I'm kind of getting a bit heated with this, so I'm gonna end the video here. And if you want a recommended Wattpad video, comment down below, because I actually would really love to do that, and it gives me an excuse to read a few more Wattpad books, which is always great. And so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!